Welcome, my darlings. If you're joining me right now, then that means you're ready to move forward with our journey with our GCF and LCM. I want you to take a look at this diagram that I've got for you. I have an expression written at the bottom, and it's actually the same expression on the left-hand side over here as it is on the right-hand side. It's just two different ways to write it. So what this is saying to us on the left-hand side is that if we were to take 6, we could multiply it, this side, times 10 plus 8. We could do 6 times the entire length if we put those two rectangles together. And that would give us 6 times 18, which is 108. We can also divide up our two. What if I don't know what 6 times 18 is? I can turn that into the other side, which is 6 times 10, so I can make a 6 times 10 rectangle, and I can make a 6 by 8, or 6 times 8 rectangle, because 10 and 8 are really the length, and instead of using it as 18 the whole way across, I'm using it as 6 times 10 and 6 times 8, and that turns into 60 and 48, which is 108, which is what we would have gotten if we did 6 times 18. So keeping that in mind, we are going to take a look at some new language or new ways to look at math. This guy right here is a sign that you may recognize. It's one of the invisible math signs that's hanging in the back of our classroom. Couple things I want you to keep in mind. This guy right here, you're very familiar with. That is a way to show multiplication using an X for multiplication. And you might also even be familiar with this one, using a dot. That also means to multiply. But what I want you to focus on today is this right here. This is another way to show multiplication that we're going to be using as we move forward into some pre-algebra concepts. What this is showing us is if I take any number, A stands for any number, and I put it smack dab next to parentheses with some other number in between, all that is saying is A times B. Every one of these this is A times B, a second way to show A times B. We won't get into that. That'll be a little later, but putting two variables together means to multiply. This is a third way to show A times B. Fourth way to show A times B. Then sometimes another way, in some books or websites, you might see a star used to show A times B. So what I want you to keep in mind is this guy right here. We are going to get very familiar and comfortable with using a parenthesis to show that two numbers are being multiplied together. So let's shrink this guy down, and I'm going to give you just a for instance. So if I said 2 times 6, hopefully you are thinking to yourself, well, Mrs. Klupo, you could have done 2 times 6. Both of these means 2 times 6, so both of them turn into 12. Another one, if we did 4 times 9, how else can we read that? Well, just put that 9 in parentheses, 4 parentheses 9, with the 4 smack dab up against the parentheses. Both of them mean the very same thing of 36. So moving forward, I'm going to introduce our vocabulary for today, and that is using the distributive property. This is something that will come up a lot. This is a really early introduction to the distributive property. We'll use it a lot more later on when we're using variables in our algebra concepts. But the basic thing I want you to understand is how to pull out a greatest common factor and rewrite a problem. So I want you to take a look at this first set we've got here, 5 plus 15. Yes, that's very straightforward. You know what 5 plus 15 is. But another way to write that, you would agree, would be to take 5 times 1, which is 5, and add it to 5 times 3, which is 15. The yellow that I've circled and then this green expression, they mean the very same thing. They're both going to come out to be 20. Keeping that in mind, what do you notice about this particular way to write it? Hopefully you're noticing we used the greatest common factor of 5 when we broke 5 into 5 times 1 and 15 into 5 times 3. And what happened as we come down here is that greatest common factor is being set on the outside of the parentheses, because remember, what do the parentheses mean? It means we're going to multiply that 5 times the 1, which is 5, and we're going to multiply that 5 times the 3, which is 15, which is what we started with. So that's just one more way. We took that greatest common factor of 5 and we set it on the outside of parentheses, and we're showing that it's being multiplied times 1 and by 3. So let's try that for a couple more problems. So here I have a couple of expressions here, and we're going to rewrite them to be equivalent or the same expression, just written differently using the greatest common factor. So look at my first guy. I've got 24 and 30. So I need you to think about what the greatest common factor of 24 and 30 is. Hopefully you came up with 6. So remember that greatest common factor, to create 24, 6 gets multiplied by 4. And then to create 30, it gets multiplied by 5. If I really wanted to test this out, I could add 24 and 30 together, and that's 54. And see what this guy turns out to be. My 4 plus my 5 is 9, and 6 times 9 is also 54. So this is what I want you to get to turning 24 plus 30 into an equivalent expression, finding the greatest common factor of 6, and putting that on the outside of the parentheses. So let's go on to the second one. 28 plus 21. First thing is to pull out the GCF. The greatest common factor of 28 and 21 is 7, and I'm going to set that on the outside of parentheses, meaning I need to multiply 7 times something to get 28, and that would be 4. And I need to multiply 7 times something to get 21, and that would be 3. So if I were to test 28 plus 21, its value would be the same as 7 times 4 plus 3. So that does it for the distributive property using the GCF, kiddos. Good luck in doing a little practice on your own.